thanks for joining us in this video. My name's Brian, and Anne is going to be joining us today for the Lincolnwood Library presentation here of 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten in our Technology for Child Caregivers series, where we give out advice about helping families thrive in our digital world. So a little bit more about this. Again, it's a series we're doing on YouTube. We've taught these topics in person before, and we'd like to record them so anybody can watch them whenever. We are excited to help everybody with more than just books, movies, and our apps and reading. And today we're focusing on reading for the littlest ones before kindergarten. So each episode covers a different topic, and today, like we've said, we're doing our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program, which we're going to cover in just a few brief sections. So we did the intro, and we'll go through who we are, and then our main discussion of the topic. We're going to do a practical demo of the app, which is awesome. So you'll be able to use it to help log for your kiddos. And that'll be it for today. So briefly about us. Again, I'm Brian, and Anne is our co-host. Anne previously hosted our episode on setting expectations for child technology. We had another host, Kevin, who did our selecting media and digital citizenship episodes. So we're librarians and we work in technology and media.
Hi, I'm so glad to be back. My name is Anne. I am the early literacy specialist for the library. So 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is one of my favorite things to talk about, reading with our littles. That's my wheelhouse. So I'm excited to go over kind of what the program is all about and then how you participate and what kind of prizes you can expect along the way.
And again, I'm Brian. I do a lot of the technology training here. I'm a fairly new dad. I'm logging books for my daughter's 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. It's a great program to encourage literacy. And kind of my lifelong mission is to help people with information and technology and reading and events and everything. And this is just about all of that.
All right, so I just wanted to kind of cover why it matters to read to your little ones, right? Especially if they're very little, if they're just infants. Sometimes we think, oh, they can't understand the book, so why should I read to them? But really, that exposure to language and that time that you're taking to spend one-on-one with them is the most important part. Even if they're not quite getting the plot and the characters, they're getting a lot out of the experience. So 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is a great way to remind ourselves and to set aside time in our day, because it does fall by the wayside in our busy days. So it's a great way to remind ourselves to stay on track with reading with our kiddos at least one book a day, right? And usually you can get through more than one. So how do you sign up for the program? Now, we have so many options to fit everybody's preferences. So we have a paper log, like you might have seen a traditional reading log before, maybe back in the days when you were doing reading at your public library. We also have a really wonderful website that has an app version of itself called Beanstack, which we're going to go over how to use in just a little bit. But all you need to know is that if you need help signing up, go ahead and come in to the Youth and Teen Services desk and we can help you out with whichever way you want to participate. And if you're wondering what kind of prizes you can expect along the way, we have some really great things waiting for you. So after every 100 books, which I know seems like a lot, but we will talk about how you can get all of those books in, and rereads count. So you can read a book 10 different times and it counts for 10 different books. So every 100 books, you come in and you get a ducky, a little rubber ducky. And of course, they're fun flower and garden themed because we're growing our readers, right? We're growing them into strong readers. After 500 books, so when you hit the midway point, you're going to get a book of your very own to take home and keep. Those are also fun, nature and gardening themed, and we have a lot of different varieties there, board books, picture books. And then at 1,000 books, when you're all done, you're going to get another book to take home and keep. And this is a picture of one of our finishers. So if you give us permission, we're able to post these photos on social media so that you're able to share your victory in finishing the program. So we wanted to go over too a bunch of frequently asked questions that we get about the program. So even if you have a question that's not on this list, feel free to come in and ask us or call or email. We have all of our contact information at the end of the presentation. But if these were some of your questions, we wanted to cover them already right off the bat. A lot of people ask if they need to be a Lincolnwood resident to participate in the program and if they can do our program and another library's 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. And since you do not need to be a resident to participate, you absolutely can do more than one library's program. So every library has slightly different rules and their program works slightly different. But if you have a 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program at another library you like to visit or your home library, you absolutely can use the books that you read together as a family for both programs. You can count them on both logs. We're not here to worry about that you're double dipping or anything like that. We're just supposed to have a fun time together, right? It's just supposed to be a fun, enriching program for your family. Another question we get a lot is if any books count, right? Can I read anything or do I have to read specific things? And you can read anything, especially for our youngest ones. You might read a grown-up book aloud that you enjoy. They're getting the language exposure and you're getting a little bit of time to enjoy a book yourself. You can count that. You can count books that you're rereading as many times as you want, right? So a lot of families, we know that our kiddos have favorite books that they always make us read over and over and over. And you can count that as many times as you read it together. So it can be the same book 10, 15 times, as many times as you read it. Another question we get a lot is if we need to write down every title of each book that we read. And absolutely not. So Beanstack has a really great feature where you can log just an amount of books. So if you read 10 books this week, then you can just put in 10. You don't need to put in 10 separate titles. So that's a really great option. If you just want to get it all in there and you don't want to have to try to remember which books you read together. And if you have more than one child, we get this one a lot too. You can count any books that you read together as a family on each child's log. So if you're reading before bedtime all together, absolutely you can count it on both kiddos or more than both kiddos' logs, however many kiddos you have at home. And then the last one that we get pretty frequently is if there's a minimum age, right? If it's ever too early to start in the program. And my goal is to get someone who is still pregnant to sign their kiddo up because it's literally never too early to start exposing your child to language and that bonding time of reading together. So everyone can participate no matter how young they are. Come on in, join, have some fun, do some reading together. And sometimes, right, choosing 1,000 books or even less than that if we're counting the rereads can be overwhelming. So not only can you always ask a librarian for recommendations, but we also have a lot of recommendations already on our website under Kids and Teens and then under the Early Literacy page. We have some themed recommended books, so they're all available for you right there if you really need some recommendations and you're not able to come in and ask us on your own.
Next, we are going to do a brief demonstration of Beanstack. And before we do that, I just want to say again, I'm a pretty new dad. My daughter is doing Beanstack 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten with the library. And it's a really great program. It encourages us to be reading. We love reading. And when we plan to have completed the program, we're not going to stop reading. It's going to be a great habit that we continue and that hopefully she really enjoys. So we're going to show you how to download the app, how to create your account, how to get in and do logging of your books. So from your device home screen, open up your application store. Find its search function, which is usually at the bottom or at the top, and search for Beanstack. And hit search. There may be advertisements, but the light blue logo with the heart is the right app. Install it, and it will appear on your device's home screen. So now that we have Beanstack installed on both devices, let's open it up and get signed up. So you see that it is about achieving reading goals for you and your family. Let's go. So we are with the Lincolnwood Library, a library, and we want to find a site, and we can search for Lincolnwood. Search, and there we go. So you can press Lincolnwood Library, and you can sign in with your username or password if you've already done that, but you can also press sign up if you're a new user. So have you previously used Beanstack to participate in a reading challenge? You may not have. And you can pick a username and password. You want to make sure to remember the password. So then it asks you to give a little bit more information about yourself. And then they just ask for how to contact you. So you can enter your email and phone number. And you don't have to give them your phone number if you don't want to. You also don't have to add your library card number if you don't want to, but you can. And you're all signed up. So you want to add a reader, and you can fill out their name, and their age. We'll say someone's 1-year-old. And continue. You don't have to upload a profile picture. We'll say babies and toddlers. And press continue. And again, you do not have to add the library card number. And it automatically pulls up the library's 1,000 books before kindergarten program. So you can press to register. And you just confirm by pressing register. And there you go. You are all set. You are ready to read and log your 1,000 books before kindergarten. You don't have to receive recommendations. And your profile is complete. You can add other readers, or you can say you're done adding readers. And there you go. You're all signed up for 1,000 books before kindergarten. To log a title, press the plus button and press reading. And you can log without a title or search for a title. I'm going to do Goodnight Moon. There are often lots of editions. You can pick whichever one you like. You see the title and author filled in. And you can, for longer books, track progress, but I'll just hit save. And you can log time, or you can say quick complete. You completed the book. And then you see that it updates your number of books read. You can also log a title by scanning the ISBN barcode on the book. Press plus and reading, and there is a barcode button. You'll have to allow access to your camera. And then it will pull up the title, and you can press save. And then click complete. And you're all set. You can also log without logging the title. Press plus and then reading, and log without a title. You can log how many minutes you read or how many pages you read, but you don't have to. You can press done, and it will log that you read one book. So here is the web application, which looks very similar. You'll sign in and find it just like the mobile app.
I think it's really nice that you have the choice of logging number of books read instead of just titles, because I know that we get really busy and we don't ever want the program to be overwhelming or time consuming for you guys. So if you want to just log your numbers to get to 1,000, you go for it. There's no need to get into the titles if you don't want to. I also really love that there's an app version of Beanstack and not just the desktop website, because then you can take it anywhere with you, anywhere that you have your phone with you, which is most places. And when you're reading out and about, or when you're reading at another place like the library, you can log it right then and there. All right, so thanks for watching the demo portion of our class on the Lincolnwood Library 1000 Books Before Kindergarten program. Here is all of our library and department contact information. If you have any questions, you can contact us if you have other questions that weren't mentioned in the frequently asked questions, or if you have a specific technical question, we are happy to help you out because we want you and your little ones reading.